Hall of Famer, a legend. Now, if your goal is to be the highest paid player, then by all means, go after all the money you want. If your goal is to win Super Bowl championships and all that, once you get transitional wealth, you kind of, do what's best for you so you can become that player. Now, as far as Jamar Chase, he got drafted in the first round. I don't know, not one first-round draft pick that any organization drafted in the first round that they did not think they were going to be great. He got $19 million up front for not even playing a down and $30 million in guaranteed. He's getting paid for what he has done. Wait your turn and you'll get your money. Simple as that, bro.
I totally disagree with you because I've been on the other side of it. See, when you've had teammates that didn't think they were going to live to see age 16 or 17, then it's a different ball game. When you have an opportunity to secure things for your family generationally, then you do that. I would never fault a player for not practicing and holding out so they can get their generational wealth. Like, I would never do that because why don't you guys take the owner's side who are billionaires? Or when an owner or a GM decides that they want to cut a player who still has a contract, but they don't honor that contract. I want y'all to speak up and talk the same way for those players that get released like y'all are doing for these players that should take team-friendly deals and should give these owners bargains. Why am I giving a billionaire a bargain? Make that make sense to me because it never has, in my opinion. It never has.
Yeah, and players also, I don't care if you're making, a league minimum or $100 million in change in guaranteed money. You have a very limited window to do what you do as a professional athlete. I'll never forget Mike Vrabel, who was still playing for the Patriots, when he absolutely undressed me on radio, on a show. When I asked him, like, man, why is Emmitt Smith going to Arizona? I mean, go out on top, retire a Cowboy. And when I say Vrabes, I thought his head was going to spin off. I mean, he said, we're not doctors, we're not lawyers, we don't sell insurance, we can't do this till we're 60. You play because you love the game and to go with the boys. And if Emmitt wants to go and play another year or two with the Arizona Cardinals, then go do it. Because we don't have the opportunity to do this forever. We can't do this till we're 50, 60, 70 years old.
But I'll also say this. When I had a teammate right here for the Atlanta Falcons who grew up in the crack house, and the feds come in and gets his parents, and he stops going to high school, and then you have a high school coach go get him and his brother and make sure they go back to school, and then they go to Ole Miss, and they become a first-round draft pick. When those guys want to hold out for their money, do you know their story or you just see the glory?
No doubt. No doubt. Amen on that, man. Do we have time for one more? Let's go. Philip in Georgia. Philip, you're on ESPN Radio.
First off, Harry, rise up.
That's here right now, Philip. Phil, that's you. Right. I know that's you. Go ahead, Philip.
So, thoughts here. If you don't get a Dak deal done this season, do you go ahead and secure Parsons? And if you secure Parsons, at the bag that he's going to require, is there even money available to be a legitimate contender for Dak in free agent?
Philip, first of all, who dat? Second of all, if you don't have a quarterback, you ain't got a shot. Bottom line. End of conversation. Sorry. Dak over Micah. Any day of the week, twice on a Sunday. Harry, you agree, disagree, quick? Yep. Yeah, there you go. As Harry's not going dancing.
Caller's got me a little hot right now.
This is ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body?
Huh?
That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Step into the batter's box for BetMGM's Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. Pick an area of the strike zone and take your best swing. If you get a single, double, triple, or home run, you'll receive a prize. Smash a home run to collect a bonus bet on us. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-991-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary depending on market. Expired 24 hours from issuance. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Freddie Coleman. The coach of the New England Patriots, Gerard Mayo, said that it may not be the best decision later, but it's the best decision now, determining that Jacoby Brissett should be the starting quarterback opening day instead of Drake May, the rookie quarterback out of North Carolina. Never mind the fact that it wasn't that long ago that Gerard Mayo said that Drake May has outplayed Jacoby Brissett in terms of preseason and also practice action involving the Patriots. Now, if it was me, I would start Drake May and just have done with it. I know the offensive line is a shambles, and the Patriots are trying to find a way to get back on that winning track that they have not been near for the last 3 seasons. But it is the right decision by Gerard Mayo. It's not about ruining Drake May's confidence. I don't think that's going to happen. But there's no need to rush something along. It's okay to take your time and make sure that the guy, when he's ready, meaning Drake May, is going to be ready to be out there no matter who's in front of him. So Jacoby Brissett had to be a sacrificial lamb at quarterback, then so be it. He knew what he was getting himself into, taking on the job anyway, being a Patriots quarterback once again. In 60 seconds, the Brandon Ayuk situation in San Francisco.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SAND25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SAND25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SAND25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
So Brandon Ayuk, as far as we know, still a wide receiver with the San Francisco 49ers. He's been cleared by doctors, but still not at practice. And what is the holdup, y'all, involving him and that team trying to find a way to finalize a contract or maybe just being traded when it's all said and done, no matter what the ending situation is going to be involving Brandon Ayuk and the San Francisco 49ers. This is a case of a wide receiver knowing his value, a team knowing his value, but the team does not want to value him that much, in my opinion, when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers. And if you're Brandon Ayuk, you're thinking, hey, I know I can make $14 million this year, but you know what? I know I'm worth more. You may not believe that, San Francisco, but that's what Brandon Ayuk believes. At a certain point, you would think something of a resolution is going to happen. But the more and more it drags on, how much better it's going to be for anybody, whether Brandon Ayuk stays in San Francisco or not. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat,
.063 WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station. ESPN West Palm is on the move. Brought to you by Safebound Moving and Storage, the most trusted moving company in Florida. You're safe with Safebound. Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
What does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Good people, especially those right in front of us here at Bounce DELRAY. It's your boy Theo Dorsey. C-Cat and I are on the move with Safebound Moving and Storage here at Bounce DELRAY Beach. It is the start, the kickoff. Week 1 of college football tonight. We got 4 ranked teams playing. We got Colorado also taking on North Dakota State. That's the game everybody's all into. That's the game everybody's lining up to see. And then more importantly, this is the tip-off to fantasy football season. Like this right here is prime draft weekend. Anybody that drafts for fantasy football before this weekend is crazy. They're out of their mind. They're idiotic. If you don't wait until this weekend, you've been doing it wrong. C-Cat, this day is huge, not just because it's Evan Cohen's birthday. By the way, I forgot to shoot him a text. But his birthday present, his birthday wishes were granted. And though it was a sad news for one dude at least in that Patriot locker room, Gerard Mayo announced the good news for Evan Cohen and Patriot fans alike because he made the right decision. He pulled the trigger. QB1 for the New England Patriots is going to be Jacoby Brissett, the Dwyer alum, the Palm Beach County star, the last guy to win a football state championship on the prep level. out here on the FHSAA level, C-Cat. And now he's going to be suiting up QB1 for the Patriots. Like, things are churning in New England.
Things are churning, and we're delaying the inevitable, aren't we?
Yeah,
Everyone's
exactly.
kind of widely accepted, including Gerard Mayo, that Drake May will eventually be the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. He will be attempt number 2 at the new face of the Patriots after the failed experiment that we saw with Mac Jones.
Was Mac Jones a failed experiment? Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think he was.
Yes, absolutely he was. And you know what, though, C-Cat? On top of that point, it's funny because with that good news are the unintended consequences that Gerard Mayo also had to break the bad news to our guy, Drake May, who's done nothing but impress since he stepped foot in Foxborough, right? Like, even Gerard Mayo, in an honest moment on a radio station, told us he's been the quarterback that's performed the best this preseason. He's looked good in camp. He is promising for the future of the Patriots, but it's most likely an opportunity for them to protect him from himself, right? He's like Scrappy-Doo. He's ready to go. In fact, the disappointing news that Gerard Mayo had to break to our guy Drake May, almost as disappointing as when I just found out from a commenter on YouTube that apparently there's allegations going on out there that I got a receding hairline.
You showed up to work today with a hat on.
Yeah.
I don't think it was any coincidence.
That's crazy. You think that I've been – I didn't see the comment until you told me about it today, though. But I have worn a hat for the past 2 days, and part of it has been because I've been waiting on getting a haircut. I don't like the way, I'm a former TV guy. I'm a big YouTube star with our digital reporting here for ESPN West Palm Play. My looks are my brand.
Yeah.
It's part of my value. We stream live on YouTube every day here at Theo Speaking. It's where people tap in.
Once you migrated to more of the radio personality and away from the TV personality, at least for the time being, I told you that I will do everything within my power to tear down your looks.
Yeah.
Radio is an ugly man's game, Theo, and we are destined to make you that ugly man.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to assimilate to that. I'm trying to evolve with it. That's why we have the streaming. You see, when we kicked off at Theoretically Speaking back in April, which is also, by the way, for Bounce DELRAY, they actually started here at the Delray Beach Market in March. So we're synonymous with them in that. We're locked in, twin. We're cooking with a team that is also kind of new to the area. So make sure you pull up to Bounce DELRAY and kick it with us because we have a fun show today. Jamie Eisenberg going to pull up later from CBS Sports, our fantasy football expert.
Yeah.
Throughout the day, too, before we get into this Gerard Mayo, Drake May news with the New England Patriots, throughout the day, we're taking your fantasy football questions ahead of draft weekend. You can call, you can tweet, you can send them to us via Instagram. We're going to be delivering those to Jamie Eisenberg when he pulls up, the fantasy football guru. And again, if you want to call into the show and drop one off on us, we'll hold it for him. You hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline. Are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and need to see an expert in the field? Baptist Health Orthopedic Care is a team of foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to learn more today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. The decision's been made, so we know right now in New England that Gerard Mayo broke the news to Drake May. And here is, by the way, the former North Carolina star, the future of the Patriots, Drake May, responding. And if you can hear it in his voice, C-Cat, he's disappointed. He's floored because he feels like he won this job, and Gerard Mayo all but said it to us publicly. Here's Drake May and how he handled the disappointing news.
I didn't already be the starter, and I don't think that's going to change. I'm still going to shoot one play away, so just got to be ready for all circumstances and here to help Jacoby and keep the vibes in the quarterback room, up because nothing's going to change, and still rooting for him and cheering for him. Coach Mayo's great, up front. That's the biggest thing is communication. He just said, hey, Jacoby, we're going out there week one. Let's take most of the reps, just you get throughout camp, kind of understand. And other than that, just continue doing what I was doing. I feel like I was doing a good job throughout camp and throughout the preseason. So other than that, just keep doing what I'm doing.
C-Cat, who handled the demoralizing news better? Me when you told me that people have been saying my hairline's receding, or Drake May when he found out that he's not going to be QB1 when the Patriots take on the Bengals September 8th.
You had tears in your eyes when I broke the news to you. So I'm going to say Drake May. And it's surprising because these quarterbacks are told time and time again that they're number one. They're number one. They go to North Carolina. They're the best player in their area in high school. They go to the NFL. It's a whole new ball game. And he was told he's not number one. You're the second best option right now. It's a very humbling experience for a quarterback who was the top wherever they've gone.
Yeah.
And now he's kind of humbled a little bit.
And on top of that, again, he was the third quarterback picked in that draft. He feels like he's likely going to be have a chance to be the best guy, the top dog. And for Drake May, I know a lot of people are talking about what his feelings should be today. One thing that kind of sticks out to me is, what about Jacoby? Like, everybody's like, yo, you don't want to try Drake May out there because the offensive line is one of the worst in the league. There's no weapons out there for Jacoby Brissett or Drake May to take advantage of and have an offense that can threaten defensive coordinators and whatnot. It is an abysmal situation, and that's what you want to protect Drake May for. And if I'm Jacoby Brissett, I'm like, well, then, dog, why the hell y'all throwing me out there with that?
I would say Jacoby's been in this league for a long time for a reason. It's not because of anything that he's really done kind of on the field. It's more between the ears and someone that you want in your quarterback room and someone that can at least commandeer an offense for a time or two. He's a very mature individual. We've learned that from here at Dwyer. So I think that's what Jacoby, he's at peace as to what his job is.
Yeah.
And that is to be that bridge quarterback. That is to be the adult in the room.
He gets it, right? He's a bridge guy. He's the mentor. The last thing you can do as well is it's okay for Jacoby Brissett to fail a couple weeks in a row here and then get pulled and you go to Drake May. If that happens the other way around, you could break May's confidence. And you could have a situation like what Brian Flores and Tua Tagovailoa had when he's over here splitting time between Tua and Ryan Fitzpatrick. At one point, you got Fitzpatrick coming in to be the closer for the Dolphins and whatnot. It was an absolute clown show. You can't have that. So I think what Jerod Mayo did here in his rookie season, and also simultaneously a veteran head coach, well-respected future Hall of Famer, and Mike Tomlin out there in Pittsburgh, who had a similar but different situation. Fields is not the definitive future of the Steelers franchise, right? Like, he's an option maybe down the line.
He's got a whole lot more to prove for sure.
But if you're both of these coaches, it's always easier. It's the easy, smart decision. You go with the veteran, and then if things change, you move on and you give the young guy a chance. Same situation for Russell Wilson. He gets the QB1 job. If you ask me, if you look at the film, if you look at the upside, Justin Fields felt like he did just enough to edge out Russell Wilson, who barely played this preseason. Like, I would have went with Fields just for the fact that I know I got Arthur Smith calling the plays, and look at what he did with Taylor Heineke and Desmond Ridder. You give him a guy like Fields with some real wheels, like, we can get this thing cooking.
Yeah, I think that Russell Wilson is the safe choice because the Steelers know that they can win with very vanilla quarterback play, very just kind of plain Jane, white bread, Wonder Bread, whatever quarterback play with Russell Wilson. You won't get the explosive great plays with Russell Wilson, at least we've seen the past couple of years.
Absolutely not.
But you won't see the catastrophic plays that we might be able to see from Justin Fields. I think it's a low floor, high ceiling with Fields, and you kind of know what you're getting with Russell Wilson at this stage of the game. However, Russell Wilson still thinks he can play at Super Bowl level football. And I think he's going to have a lot to prove in 2024 to make the job of Mike Tomlin as difficult as possible to keep Justin Fields on the bench and keep more Russell Wilson starts.
Yeah, like if you're Wilson, again, we've talked about, is this guy a lock for the Hall of Fame? He's not. He's definitely not in my book. And this season is going to be a huge data point on that because if he can't fend off Fields for at least the first half of the year, if he can't fend off Fields and become the starter, at least for the majority of this season for the Steelers, that case is going to get smaller and smaller. Here's the question, though. Here's the question, because now we know in both QB controversies and both QB battles, we have our answer. It is Russell Wilson for the Steelers. It is Drake May, or excuse me, it will be Drake May. Right now it's Jacoby Brissett for the Patriots. Which one of these two quarterbacks actually starts more games in 2024? And I think the answer is quite clearly it's going to be Jacoby Brissett.
No, I'm completely on the other side of the fence.
Really?
Absolutely on the other side of the fence.
Why you think that Russell Wilson will start more games than Jacoby Brissett?
Because Russell Wilson walked into a zoo year one with the Broncos, and he kind of had the lack of the benefit of the doubt in year two with the Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson, we've seen his ceiling, and we know his ceiling is winning a Super Bowl.
That's not his ceiling anymore, though.
Who's to
that
say?
was 2013.
He's still got it in him. He's still working out in the offseason. Russell Wilson still has.
That was a decade ago.
Russell Wilson can definitely
know
start. Russell Wilson can definitely start all 17 games this season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You cannot say the same thing with Jacoby Brissett.
Why not? Because if you're deciding that Drake May's not ready week 1 for the Patriots, and it's based off of what's around him, that offensive line, the weapons, your ability as an offense to be an actual threat on the field, that's not changing between now and week 18. They're not going to go out and get Brandon Ayuk. Looks like the Cleveland Browns are positioning themselves for that. Like, I don't see, if Drake May can't play now, why he would play week 5. If I'm Gerard Mayo, this is almost like you're punting on a year. And he has a little bit of leeway to do that, even as a rookie head coach, because it's a vision from top down, right? You would hope that the infrastructure in New England, which we've seen for the past 2 decades, 3 decades, feels like one that at the very least is patient, right? Like it's not one that's very fluctuating. It's not the Jets we're dealing with.
Not very reactionary.
Yeah, like they can take their pounding for a year. They just took their pounding last year and ruined the quarterback and Mac Jones in the process with all of the weird shakeups with offensive coordinators, as well as not putting weapons around him. Why would you float Drake May out there this season when you're not even really trying to win? You've already signaled that white flag to the rest of the league. The Steelers, on the other hand, though, they're trying to win. And if Russell Wilson has a string of bad games, if Russell Wilson also is not taking that offense, like elevating them at all, I can see Mike Tomlin saying, Justin Fields is going to start week 4. Justin Fields is going to get out there for us and try to win these football games, because he already hinted that Fields is going to be in some packages. Drake May is not going to play in any football for the Patriots unless Brissett gets hurt or they're turning that thing over. Fields is going to probably play in week 1.
Yeah, but I see with the Steelers and the Patriots, it's very similar in terms of how they go about doing things. Like, you don't see a whole lot of head coach turnover. You see a whole lot of trusting the system, letting things flesh out on both sides. So I don't think comparing the two franchises is fair in this conversation, because I think they're kind of similar in this day and age. But I think.
But which one is trying to win this year? Which one is going to make a win-now move is my thing. Because Drake May, you could argue, gives the Patriots a better chance to win than Jacoby Brissett. Like, some people would make that argument. I don't think I would yet. I would have to see more, but some people would say that. That's not what their goal is, though, because they don't think they can win. The Steelers think they can win. So if Mike Tomlin or Arthur Smith comes to the realization that, hey, I think we could take this thing to the next level if we get this old fart out of here who's playing his way out of a Hall of Fame career, and we go to the young gunner and Justin Fields with something to prove and some wheels where he's like the best athlete every time he steps on the field. I can see it happening. I just don't see Drake May being a guy that takes over that job this year.
Drake May probably can start week 1.
He could.
But they're not 100% convinced that he is 100% ready to play. And they're not willing to risk not knowing 100% to ruin his confidence and even hurt Drake May. They're willing to let Jacoby Brissett get hurt and to ruin his confidence. He's the adult in the room.
Absolutely terrible.
That's why Drake May isn't starting week 1.
Yeah.
Because it's a long-term investment.
Well, we'll see. Again, the question is, who starts more games this NFL season, Jacoby Brissett or Russell Wilson? I think it's clearly going to be Brissett, the Dwyer alum, and that's not just me being a homer at all. We're taking your questions as well. 888-760-3776 on any fantasy football advice you want us to hold for our guy Jamie Eisenberg, who's going to be joining the show soon. Also, who you think starts more games this season, Jacoby Brissett or Super Bowl champion Mr. Danger Russ? We got BJ from Pompano on the lines here. BJ from Pompano, you're here on Theoretically Speaking. First and foremost, man, who you got, man? Who's starting more games between Brissett or Wilson?
Honestly, I think that Russell Wilson should start. 60% completion rate, you really can't beat that. The other boy, he's just not ready. Point blank is simple. I mean,
Justin Fields, you mean? You mean Justin Fields isn't ready?
Yeah, Justin Fields. Justin Fields not ready. With Russ having a run game that should help him out compared to he really didn't have a run game in Denver. And when he was at Seattle, they lost the beat. So that's really one thing. But one thing I really want to say is, everybody wants their money, but everybody's not elite. An elite quarterback will defer their money like Tom Brady did. So everybody asking for their money is putting this team in a situation where, you know what, we can't win if we can't protect the quarterback.
My main thing there is, if you're really putting your trust in Russell Wilson because the Steelers have a run game, you know what makes a run game better, C-Cat?
What's that?
A quarterback that also can add to that run game in Justin Fields. He like the stuff that Arthur Smith was able to do, again, with Taylor Heineke and Desmond Ridder in that Atlanta offense, the way that they won at that level, like Fields would be an evolution of that. Fields will be a better option, and they're going to turn to Fields way before the Patriots even consider turning to Drake May, though he might be the better option. We got Uncle Steve Policiner, pulling up on us on the other side to hit that safe-bound get-around. I mean, we got to talk about this huge contract. You brought up 2014. Steph Curry is making more money than some teams had to dole out back in 2014 in the NBA, and he'll be doing that this year. Crazy stuff how that league is growing. And plus, again, we're taking your fantasy football questions for Jamie Eisenberg all throughout the show. Theoretically speaking, on the move from Bounce in Delray Beach. Pull up on us. It's a party as we keep it kicking here on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey, it's Josh Cohen for the Accident Attorneys, Anajar and Levine. Car accidents, truck accidents, slip and fall, trip and fall. Did you get injured on the job? Workers' comp problems? My friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine, they will fight for you. Remember, they do not get paid unless you get paid, and they will fight to get you the maximum compensation you know you deserve. Here's what you do. You just call. Call Anajar and Levine for your absolutely free consultation. Do not settle for just any attorneys. Demand Anajar and Levine, and demand the Anajar and Levine difference. It takes just one phone call to begin to take back control of your life. So do that. Take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Anajar and Levine, Accident Attorneys. Take back control of your life.
The summer blizzard menu is officially here at DQ Grill and Chill, featuring the blizzard of the month, salted caramel truffle. A delicious blend of DQ soft serve, salted caramel truffles, sweet and salty toffee pieces, rich choco chunks, and decadent cocoa fudge. Plus, peanut butter cookie dough party. Ultimate cookie party featuring Chips Ahoy and Nutter Butter, brownie batter, and frosted animal cookie. DQ Grill and Chill with 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake.
These days, everything seems so expensive. Food, clothes even. So let's think long-term real quick. Wouldn't you rather be driving around in a fuel-efficient new Kia from Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach? I mean, that could save you mucho dinero back in your pocket right now. Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach is under construction and overstocked, so they are making deals that other dealers won't like. Brand new 24 Kia Fortes for only $99 a month, plus 0% APR financing is available. And they want your old car. Get up to $6,000 over Kelly Blue Book fair market value for any trade. So what are you waiting for? Get to Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach today. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or visit online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com. Qualified applicants through KMF. 24-month lease, $24.99 due at signing. 10,000 miles per year. Security deposit waived, plus tax, tag, and $9.99 admin fee. Negative equity refinance. Discount includes all factory rebates to dealer. Offers don't combine. Expires 11/5/24.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
Time now for a PNC pause. PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the lives of the customers they serve in the South Florida community. See how at PNC.com. You're listening to ESPN 106.3.
Guys, listen, your body chemistry is as unique as your fingerprint. There's no one-size-fits-all solution that brings back the testosterone that you had in your 20s. Now, the good news, Andrologics Health in West Palm Beach been treating and beating low T for over 20 years. Their doctors design custom testosterone replacement therapies that are shipped right to your door. No need to go anywhere. So get started today. Visit andrologics.com. That's ANDROLOGIX.com. Andrologics Health, because experience matters.
ESPN West Palm is on the move. Brought to you by Safebound Moving and Storage, the most trusted moving company in Florida. You're safe with Safebound. Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube. Here's Theo Dorsey.
Come and kick it with the fellas. We're at Bounce Delray Beach. And if you don't know where that is, I mean, it's right where the Delray Beach Market Is. And I was about to say was, C-Cat, and I was reinformed today that no, is. This is Delray Beach Market still, and Bounce is one of the action-packed places here. Plenty of screens all around, a good sports bar / nightclub. And the only gripe I have with the place, C-Cat.
What's that?
It's a Gators and a Seminoles bar. So on Saturdays, they're going to be pumping up Florida and Florida State. As a Miami Hurricanes fan, I can't get with it.
See, I was thinking of, that picture where it's the Bloods and the Crips tying their bandanas together.
Yeah.
That's what I think the unity of those two Florida teams, they just keep the U out.
Right? Like, what's up with that, actually? I actually have a bigger bone to pick than I thought at first. Like, how are you a Florida and a Florida State bar, and we can't get any Cane stuff in here? And Saturday, I'll be out of town, so I won't be able to pull up, but I'm sure it's going to be packed in here with Gators fans as the Canes visit the Swamp to kick the season off. We kick off this part of the show by bringing in our uncle, our favorite uncle here on Theoretically Speaking, Steve Polliciner, or as we know him here, Uncle Steve.
He's our favorite uncle.
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
A Palm Beach County Sports Commission Hall of Famer and president of Good Karma Brands. It's Steve Polliciner.
Uncle Steve, Uncle Steve, Uncle Steve.
Presented by PNC Bank. Committed to making a difference in the South Florida community.
Uncle Steve, Uncle Steve, Uncle Steve.
Uncle Steve, what's happening with you? And before we get into any sports or the get around and everything like that, I got to ask you an honest question because I know you're a good guy. You'll keep it G with me, Uncle Steve. Is my hairline receding?
I just saw you last week in person.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like it was like receding. You have high hair.
Yes.
But I don't think you have a receding hairline.
Okay. So it's just I might be in the early stages of that as I transition, as I become an uncle like you. You know what I'm saying? Like I might be in the early stages of that. And you know what? I'll get a fedora and cover that thing up. It's no problem with me. Uncle Steve, you might not be with us here on the move at Bounce Delray, but if you were to take a ride on over, the best way to go would be the Safebound Get Around. There it is. Appreciate you, Pops. It's the Safebound Get Around, and it's brought to you by Safebound Moving and Storage, family-owned, Florida's most trusted moving company. You know, they actually offer temporary and permanent storage options as well. So maybe if you don't have a move to make within the Sunshine State, maybe you just need a place to keep all your belongings so it's not clouding up a room. You don't want that catch-all room. Use them for your storage needs. Or you could be like my sister, who's set up with Safebound Moving and Storage this weekend to make her move from South Florida to Georgia. So it's all-encompassing. They are Florida's moving company, and they have a very strong commitment to the community. So your stress-free move starts when you start with Safebound. You're safe with Safebound. Safebound Moving and Storage for the Safebound Get Around. Damian, what's our first stop?
Next stop,
San Francisco. Steph Curry and the Warriors agreed to a one-year, $62.6 million extension. Curry guaranteed $178 million over the next 3 years.
Steve, in 2014, the NBA salary cap was $63 million. In 2027, Steph Curry's going to make $62.6 million. Is that growth?
It certainly is. And, obviously, as a result of the evolution of the media rights deal, I just think it's neat that, Curry, I was with somebody last week, and they said, is it unreasonable to think that Steph Curry and LeBron James will end up on the same team, and the team will be the Spurs this year in a trade deadline? And I said, there is 0% chance because Steph Curry is the kind of guy that wants to be on one team his whole career. And now there's no question that will be the case.
Yeah. He's a Warriors lifer. The only question is, does LeBron maybe think about doing a final lap, a victory lap with Curry and Golden State? I'm still wishing for it. When I saw the Olympics lineup and I knew we would have Curry and LeBron, I was parading for it. It's less likely now that Curry re-upped, but we'll see. What's next?
Next stop,
Southside Chicago.
Outside.
Last night, the White Sox were down 1 run. The bottom of the ninth, 2 men on. Andrew Vaught hit the ball over the wall for the walk-off. Here's the call, courtesy of NBC Sports Chicago.
And ball 2 strikes. Ford lifts it
misses, just robs Vaughn of a home run. That would have been ball game.
You know, it's funny. My guy here at Bounce, he actually from the south side of Chicago. He's a Cubs fan, not a White Sox fan, and I congratulated him on making that decision as a kid, despite the regional, tie there, because damn, they keep finding new ways to lose. That's absolutely insane. I think they're going to break the record, Steve. I mean, where are you leaning on that?
Yeah, and the shame of it is, unlike in football, basketball, you're like, oh, if you get last, you get the number one pick. It's not the same sort of like the excitement about losing isn't the same in baseball. Like there's a point where in the NFL or NHL, you're just like, all right, whatever, we're going to lose, but we're going to get, you already know who you're going to get pretty much. Baseball, it's like, we'll see you in 3 years. They're in the minors. Are they going to make it through injury-wise? So that's like the part that's like disheartening as a baseball fan. So then you keep, got to root for the wins. And it's very hard. I don't think having the worst record in MLB is something like you want to shoot for. There's a point in the other sports, you're just like, all right, let's go. Give me the worst record.
I will say this.
And it's every day, too. It's every day.
It's going to be a long winter for all my people in Chicago. Here's what can keep you warm. 3 or 4 years from now, you might have Paul Skeens on your team. A guy like him. What's the next stop?
Next stop?
Vegas, baby, Vegas. The NFL is restricting Tom Brady's access as a Fox Sports announcer and will penalize him for public criticism of NFL officials or other teams due to his pending deal with the Raiders. Is this worth it?
I got to say, of all people, I don't feel like Tom Brady needs all of that access to still be interesting on the games. I got a lot of love for Greg Olsen. I hate that he got bumped for Tom Brady in this weird situation. But, Steve, am I crazy for thinking I still kind of want to have Tom Brady on the lead team for at least a year?
No, I do too. I think it's just going to be that much more scrutiny on him. Think about it. He was already going to be heavily, studied and scrutinized. And now it's like, oh, Brady doesn't say anything. Maybe he wouldn't have said anything anyway, but he didn't call out that official because of the complexity, about what's going on with him with the Raiders. I don't like the optics of it. I don't think it will change much, him as a broadcaster. I think he'll be insightful. I think he's going to break down throwing motions. I think he's going to tell you what he sees when he's reading defenses just as a quarterback. Will he miss a little bit by not being able, to necessarily have the same access? Yes. But what brain would you rather be in than Tom Brady's brain?
Exactly.
I don't need him to see anything. I just want to know what he's doing, what he's seeing in that moment. And I think he'll still be excellent. I just think there's going to be a lot of people coming after him, the naysayers. But here's one thing Brady could do. He could just pay the fine. He made a lot of money.
That's very true. That's absolutely true. Yeah. It would not hurt him. Uncle Steve.
He could say, I have an obligation to the fans. So if it costs me $25,000 to say that judge blew the call, okay.
That would be more entertaining, actually.
Yeah.
I would absolutely love that. Uncle Steve, one last thing before we get you out of here. We're bringing in a guy that I'm told that you're friends with, Jamie Eisenberg, fantasy football guru with CBS Sports. We're bringing him in next.
Ooh.
Do you have... Yes, yeah, of course. So now you're already pulling his leg. Do you at least have a fantasy football question for him as we enter fantasy football draft weekend?
Yeah, where was he the last 2 nights when I had fantasy drafts? No, there seems to be this. It's crazy how it slipped to wide receivers earlier. The emphasis right now on wide receivers. So is Jamie there?
Jamie actually is. We're getting a headset on Jamie right now. By the way, Jamie, when I told Steve we had you on, he said who. So that's how he started this off. But I think he has a question for you now live on the air.
Okay.
By the way, I think I connected this thing for tonight, but I forgot to get invited. I'm pretty sure Jamie reached out to me, and I put him with whoever, and and I'm in town.
Wow.
And nobody invited me.
This is big time Steve Bolsiner?
This is big time Stevie
time.
P.
Right.
Yeah. He's Uncle Steve on this thing.
Jamie.
Do you have a fantasy football question for him?
Yeah, I have 7, but let me go with one that isn't as as normal. Jamie, those teams that have one running back that aren't going to be good, they're going to have to dump it off a lot, i.e. like my Giants with Devin Singletary. Are there a couple running backs that you actually feel like might be elevated because they have – like there's some prolifically bad offenses right now. Are there a few running backs like Singletary, there's probably one or two others that were on my mind when I was drafting, the other day, that maybe you will elevate further simply because there's not a lot of options?
I mean, there certainly are. You look at there's a high-end guy that comes to mind would be Alvin Kamara, just because he's, not going to share a lot from a catching perspective. Last year he had 2 games that he had 25 catches combined in those 2 games, so he's going to, benefit from Derek Carr and potentially a bad offensive line. Ramondre Stevenson with the Patriots, or Antonio Gibson, both those guys.
Yes.
They're both going to be involved in some bad offenses and certainly getting those dump-off passes. You mentioned the Giants. We'll see Daniel Jones, I'm sure, running for his life a little bit behind that offensive line. So, Jaleel McLaughlin in Denver, he's going to have an opportunity. Same with Javonte Williams, but McLaughlin more the pass-catching guy. So there's certainly a few of these, pass catchers that, depending on your scoring system, when you're in, leagues where catches count, they benefit. When you're in leagues that, are more touchdown-dependent, standard formats, you don't really love these type of guys.
Jamie Eisenberg dropping gems already. Uncle Steve, it's actually too late because he already drafted, so those are going to be gems.
No, we have a draft. Steve and I play in the league together. So
what do you mean? Yeah, I'm in Jamie. I'm still waiting for the date. I mean, Jamie.
The date has been established. The date is Monday. There actually is a Frankel in the building too. Not the one that's in our league, but the esteemed Adam Frankel is in the building. Maybe we get him to show back up. But no, Steve, we got our draft on Monday. Be prepared.
Lock in.
Yeah,
Lock in.
Theo, you should feel honored, man. Jamie's the commissioner of 39 fantasy football leagues. And
That's 40 this year. 40 this year.
I've been permitted to be in one of them for the last 10 years. But it is actually an honor. It's like, who has a chance against Jamie?
I don't think anybody does. And who has a chance of getting you off the phone lines when you're just yapping it up, Steve? We got more radio to do. Appreciate your time, Unc. Next time, pull up in person and kick it with us.
Big time.
All right, have a great time, guys.
Thank you. That was Uncle Steve kicking it with us on the Baptist Health Hotline. And you heard him. You got a preview already. Jamie Eisenberg, who's going to give us some fantasy football gems on the other side. We're on the move at Bounce Delray Beach. Pull up if you still got a chance. And also call in for some fantasy football questions. That's Jamie Eisenberg and C-Cat. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey, it's Josh Cohen for the Accident Attorneys, Anajar and Levine. Car accidents, truck accidents, slip and fall, trip and fall. Did you get injured on the job? Workers' comp problems? My friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine, they will fight for you. Remember, they do not get paid unless you get paid, and they will fight to get you the maximum compensation you know you deserve. Here's what you do. You just call. Call Anajar and Levine for your absolutely free consultation. Do not settle for just any attorneys. Demand Anajar and Levine, and demand the Anajar and Levine difference. It takes just one phone call to begin to take back control of your life. So do that. Take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Anajar and Levine, Accident Attorneys. Take back control of your life.
All right, sports fans, let's get ready for some world-class soccer action. The MLS Showdown is happening right in your backyard at Chase Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Come see him for yourself, the greatest of all time, the legendary goal scorer. Watch him create real magic, and after the game, indulge in a winning lineup of eats, drinks, and adventures in Greater Fort Lauderdale. It's the perfect match. So make a fast break to visit Lauderdale.com and check out some travel tips to score some goal-worthy fun in the vibrant heart of Greater Fort Lauderdale.
Summer's winding down, and we know you want to enjoy what's left of it. But before you celebrate this Labor Day weekend, plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Banyan Printing, your trusted printing, mailing, and signage partner in the Palm Beaches for over 45 years. Banyan Printing's new metallic ink press adds that extra shine so that your product comes out in glossy gold, sparkling silver, or any other color you want to shine. Banyan Printing is the official printer of Kaiser Athletics and would love to be your official printing partner as well. Order products and learn more about what Banyan Printing can do for your business at banyanonline.com or call 561-586-6220.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
It's your boy JC on the brand new Questionable Call with Josh Cohen on YouTube exclusively right now. A ridiculous story about getting cut in the NFL, plus some major names you may not realize now gone. Subscribe and watch right now every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Questionable Call with Josh Cohen on YouTube.
ESPN West Palm is on the move. Brought to you by Safebound Moving and Storage, the most trusted moving company in Florida. You're safe with Safebound. Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
College football is back, baby. And Miller Lite wants to celebrate it this weekend with ESPN West Palm and the Street Team. So come and watch Miami take on Florida at Hurricanes in Stewart from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. You can show us your tailgate toss skills for a chance to win some prizes from your favorite teams thanks to Palm Beach Autographs. Enjoy $2 Miller Lite drafts during the game and 5 for $15 buckets all season long. You must be 21 or older to participate. Molson Coors reminds you to always drink responsibly, and we'll see you there. The other option, too, if you're kicking it, especially out here at Bounce Delray Beach, because I found out here that this is a Gators and a Knowles bar, so I got to assume on Saturday they're going to be having some Gators fans pour in here. And speaking of Gators fans, Jamie Eisenberg, CBS Sports fantasy guru, as well as the guy that just knows ball in general, pulls up on us here on Theoretically Speaking. And you're a Gators alum. You're a Gators fan as well. What you thinking about Saturday in the Swamp, man? Are you feeling good?
I'm not. It's going to be a rough season, but hopefully this is kind of like a national championship game for us. We win this one. It's bragging rights obviously against an in-state rival, and then maybe things get off to a good start. I'm hopeful. You're obviously hopeful at the beginning of the season, but Napier can recruit. Now can he coach? That's what we got to see.
Yeah, well, look, Miami trying to see the same thing with Mario Cristobal to a certain extent. So, it's going to be it's going to be a big battle in the Swamp there, hoping that my Canes can pull it off. We got C-Cat in here as well. We got fantasy football questions. We're taking some of them live here at Bounce Delray Beach. So if you have anybody here in the building that wants to pull up and ask a fantasy football question to my guy Jamie Eisenberg, you can come right up. I know we had a young fella in a Sauce Gardner jersey here that wanted to ask a question, so we'll lead it off with that one before we start delivering some that we got here on social media. And who do we have here? What's your name, brother?
Mikey.
We got Mikey in here, and you're a Jets fan.
Yes.
Mikey, the Jets fan, is up in here, and he's got a question for the one and only Jamie Eisenberg. What's your fantasy football question?
I have 7th pick.
Okay.
What players should I look after, getting?
Do you get points per catch? Do you get a PPR, or is it non?
The best.
The best player?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're getting points per catch, a PPR league, then I think you want to look at a receiver, because you'll probably end up with somebody like, let's say, Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson or Monroe St. Brown. Any of those three guys should be excellent. If it's non-PPR, where you're not getting points per catch, then I think you might want to lean a little bit more toward the running backs, but still those receivers are going to be high. But obviously, as a Jets guy, I'm sure you're hoping Breece Hall falls there. You could also reach a little bit for Garrett Wilson, but he might be able to come back to you in round 2. But you're in a great spot. I love the 7 spot because it gives you a very early pick in round 2 that's still going to give you some elite level talent.
Appreciate that. That was perfect. That's the way you kick things off. I don't know if anybody's going to be able to follow that up with a better question. Because, he just set the table here. That's what we're doing here at Bounce Delray. Jamie Eisenberg pulling up with the fantasy football advice. For you, You are in how many leagues now this year, if you could estimate it?
So I'm in about 25 redraft leagues, so, start, or dynasty, so start fresh essentially from the season. And then I've probably done about 25 best ball drafts, which is you just kind of draft, set it and forget it, and those are fun. You can do that on Underdog or at DraftKings, so those are easy. But 25 redraft leagues, and those are the ones that are fun. You're drafting and playing those out for the season.
Exactly, and those are a lot of fun. Those are the ones that catch the waves, and then once you do those a couple times, then you start thinking about doing keeper leagues and dynasty leagues. And
well, you said you're doing your first dynasty league,
I'm
right?
doing my first dynasty league this year, so I am. I'm not going to do it on there. I'll wait till afterwards and just pick your brain a little bit. It's a super flex, my first time doing 2 QBs. I got a lot of questions about that. But we have another question right here in person on Theoretically Speaking as we're on the move at Bounce Delray Beach. We got to hold on. Before you start, you got to pump the brakes. Give me your name and then tell me who you're a fan of.
Dylan, I'm a fan of the Dolphins.
Dylan, the fan of the Dolphins. He's got a Tyreek Hill jersey on, and he's got a question for my guy Jamie Eisenberg. What you got?
I have 4th pick. What player should I look after?
Well, obviously, if Tyreek is there, that'd be a great start. He's going to have another fantastic season. 2 seasons in a row of 1,700 yards. That's hard to do. One of the only guys in NFL history to accomplish that. But he could be the first overall pick, second overall pick. You could be looking at a running back, so McCaffrey probably off the board. So Breece Hall, Bijan Robinson, that range. Again, if you want to take one of those receivers, so not Tyreek Hill, maybe not CeeDee Lamb. The next guy for me is the jersey that your friend is wearing, Justin Jefferson. I think even with the quarterback situation being a little bit concerning with Sam Darnold, I still like Jefferson. By the way, Dylan, I coached him when he was 4 years old playing T-ball.
Oh, really? Dylan, okay. He's got a nice swing?
Yeah, oh, beautiful.
I see he's got the confidence, so I'm sure the swing
He's a star.
follows
Stud.
with that.
Absolute stud.
Appreciate that, Dylan. We have another question here in the Jay Jettas, the Justin Jefferson jersey. What's your name, brother?
Marley.
We got Marley. I'm guessing you're a Vikings fan?
No.
Well, who you a fan of?
Eagles.
Eagles, okay. We got a Marley the Eagles fan, and you can thank the Eagles if you're a Vikings fan for having Jay Jettas. Who would you that might have went over his head. That might have went over his head. What's your question here for my guy, Jamie Eisenberg?
What do you think of C.J. Stroud?
He was amazing as a rookie. Obviously had a fantastic, season, and he did that with some bad offensive line play. He did that with Tank Dell, one of their star receivers, missing the end of the season with a broken leg. And now he gets Stephon Diggs, a former Viking, former Bill as well. So the receiving core gets better. Offensive line gets better. They did a great job in keeping their offensive coordinator and Bobby Slowick, so they're going to have the system still in place. So he's going to be an MVP candidate in his second season and a great fantasy quarterback as well. So one of those guys that's in the top 5 mix.
Gotta love that. C.J. Stroud, the one thing I think about with the Texans is if I want a Texan this year, it's either Stroud or maybe Mixon. I'm afraid, though, to attack those receivers. Where do you kind of rank at ADP? Where do you rank, who you end up getting the most in these drafts between Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell? Because it's a risk.
So I buy into Nico Collins. I think he'll be on the field the most, and I do think that he's got the most upside in terms of the trio. Tank Dell's the one I look at second, and he's actually going behind Stephon Diggs based on average draft position, so at least on our side on CBS. Diggs is the one that I avoid. He's 30 years old, and when receivers, I'm an old man, but when you see receivers 30, 31, you start to see the drop-off. And his birthday is in November. The tail off for him started around November when he turned 30. He's going to be 31 this year, so I tend to shy away from those older guys.
He's also a partier, so you could imagine it might have started when he,
might have been,
30th birthday party. You got to do it big.
That's right.
That's some expert inside analysis right there. C-Cat, you are a commissioner of a league that I just joined, and this league is now turning into a keeper league.
Yeah, it's a keeper. Kind of a half measure between a dynasty and a redraft because it's the first time we've ever done anything like a keeper/dynasty. What are the pros and cons of doing a keeper league, not fully committing to a dynasty?
So the pros would be is you don't have to worry about keeping your entire roster. So when guys like Stephon Diggs or Devontae Adams, those older receivers, you don't have to worry about keeping them. You keep, the players that you want. If you're keeping 3, you tend to look at, let's say, for example, quarterback, running back, tight end. If you're going to do it that way, keep one of each. Or you just keep the 3 best available players. You could also do it where there's a cost at keeping them. So if you pick them in the first round, they're a first round keeper as well. My buddy and one of the main man over here at Bounce, Mike DeLora, who's over there.
Yeah.
He had a keeper draft himself last night, and his keepers were Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley, and Justin Jefferson. And Mike, unfortunately, did not listen to me when I told him take Rashee Rice over Xavier Worthy.
Ooh.
But he still got both.
Oh, you got both of them?
He got both.
Oh,
yes.
okay. Well, it worked out.
It did work out.
Well, I got a question. Competing in all these fantasy leagues, everyone in every league that you're in knows that you're the fantasy football guy. They know this is your profession for CBS Sports. Do you kind of get the cold shoulder when it comes to trades? Because if it's coming from you, you probably know more than them.
You get that a little bit. The league that I was in the longest, I won 3 times before I got this job. Did not win. I got the job in 2006. I just won again this past season.
Wow.
So it's not always success just because you have a job. It's a lot of luck. You know, I think the skill is getting to the playoffs. Luck is winning championships. But to answer your question, yes, sometimes it's like, what do you know that I don't know?
Yeah.
You know, who have you spoken to that I didn't hear about on ESPN or NFL Network or something? You know, so sometimes you get people like that, understandably so.
I have a real question. This is this one you might not want to admit on air. You ever throw some curveballs because you know people are listening? Are there some players? Has it ever had? Not now, obviously today. These days you're doing it straight balling.
Yeah.
But since 06, anywhere in there that you throw a curveball so that you can still take advantage? You're in a lot of fantasy football leagues, a lot of money tied up in it.
Yes, I've never done that, but I'll joke one time, we'll go into the draft, and I'll say, I just updated my rankings. Don't follow my rankings, because in CBS you can sort by myself, my colleagues. Don't follow mine. Follow somebody else's, and that's the worst is when someone will sit there, you're picking next, the word snipe, someone will snipe your player, and they're like, oh, I just saw it in your rankings. That was the highest player, so that's why I took him. Like, great, thank you.
It's like you don't even need counter stallions. You can just type in CBSSports.com and pull up his rankings, and that's all the advanced scouting you need. That is, I have a real question, too, for you here as we got Jamie Eisenberg from CBS Sports, the fantasy guru. Is this the longest you've ever been into an interview with somebody not asking about your brother?
My cousin.
Or your cousin, well, then it would have been.
No, I get asked about it quite a bit. Actually, we just did some commercials for our network and our podcast, and I had to pretend that I got in a car accident. I could show it to you during the break, and you can see it on our Twitter feed. I had to pretend I got in a car accident and had to do some acting. I use air quotes for that. And I sent it to my family, and I said, hey, when do I get my SAG card? And Jesse, my cousin, replied back. He said, maybe I'm in a little bit of trouble. And I said, you're good. Trust me. You're good.
You're chasing them. Well, you better have been picking up some tips, just like they pick up your fantasy football tips.
That's right. That's
you got access right there.
If he's not giving fantasy advice, I won't try and act, and we'll be good.
Yeah.
We'll stay in our lanes.
That is perfectly put right there as we're here again at Bounce Delray Beach. We do need to get to a break. Before we do, actually, we'll kick these to the other side because I want to spend some more time with our guy, Jamie. That's C-Cat. That's Jamie Eisenberg. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Hey, it's Josh Cohen for the accident attorneys and Ajar in Levine. Car accidents, truck accidents, slip and fall, trip and fall. Did you get injured on the job? Workers' comp problems? My friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine, they will fight for you. Remember, they do not get paid unless you get paid, and they will fight to get you the maximum compensation you know you deserve. Here's what you do. You just call. Call Anajar and Levine for your absolutely free consultation. Do not settle for just any attorneys. Demand Anajar and Levine, and demand the Anajar and Levine difference. It takes just one phone call to begin to take back control of your life. So do that. Take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. Take back control of your life. Hey, it's your boy JC. You know how much I love Hard Rock Bet, Florida's only legal sports book. So easy to sign up, so fast and easy to deposit, and even better to withdraw. That's right, win free money. Use your PayPal, your Venmo, credit cards, your bank account, whatever you want. There are thousands of props, parlays, live wager, which means during the games and matches and fights, who and what you think is going to happen. You can bet anywhere in the state of Florida. Get started now. Download the Hard Rock Bet app from the App Store or the Google Play Store, or just go online to hardrock.bet. So easy to use the app. And by the way, if your first bet doesn't win, you get up to $100 back for another shot. Hard Rock Bet, up to $100 back. If your first bet doesn't win, another chance at it. Perfect time of year, Olympics, getting into football, and everything you'd want some action on. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida, must be 21 plus, physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
ESPN West Palm is on the move. Brought to you by Safebound Moving and Storage, the most trusted moving company in Florida. You're safe with Safebound.
summer anymore. You don't want your AC going out on you. The trusted AC experts in Palm Beach County is EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing, and the way to get in touch with them is edsisyes.com, because EDS is yes. They've been keeping you cool since 2006, 24/7 support, timely service, and you can book it online. Where at, Theo? edsisyes.com. That's where you need to go, a trained comfort specialist for all your AC and plumbing needs, edsisyes.com. We still got Jamie Eisenberg from CBS Sports hanging on, and he's going to take another question here from Bounce DeLRay. What's your name, good sir?
Drew.
We got Drew, who you're a fan of.
The Dolphins.
Go Dolphins. And what's your question for my guy, Jamie Eisenberg?
Which QB should I select?
Which QB should you select? Okay, so that's a tough one because it's, generic, but who's a QB that you kind of have an eye on this year?
So if you don't get one of the top three guys of Mahomes, Allen, Josh Allen, or Jalen Hurts, I look for Kyler Murray. I look for Anthony Richardson. I like the quarterbacks that run. Jaden Daniels as well. C.J. Stroud. If you miss on some of those guys, then you could look at Jared Goff, who's got a great schedule, only 3 games outdoors this season. Tua is going to be obviously very good. So it's a deep position you don't have to reach, but look in those middle rounds. Kyler Murray is my favorite.
There you go. Kyler Murray being his favorite is an excellent point because that guy's got some weapons and also probably a little bit of a chip on his shoulder this year. Chips on shoulders is what underdogs tend to have, and our guy C-Cat, he's the man when it comes to pointing out which underdogs you should lock in with. It's time for Cats and Dogs on Theoretically Speaking.
David versus Goliath. Be a dog. Rocky versus Apollo Creed. We don't need no meow. Average Joe's versus Globo Jim. We don't need no cats. C-Cat versus the Sports Book. We need more dogs. Underdogs are the lifeblood of sports. And every week, C-Cat gives you the underdogs that will shock the world. Welcome to Cats and Dogs, presented by Safebound. You're safe with Safebound.
Oh, yeah. Now it matters. Week 1 college football officially here with a delicious slate starting tonight on a Thursday. Bounce DeLRay in a bad spot to usher in the season. We start with tonight's clash, 8 p.m. on ESPN. Did you know? Bison have large humps on their shoulders. Buffalo don't.
Whoa.
Bison have sharper horns. While buffalo horns, they're curvier. Bison tend to be larger than buffalo. Bison have thick coats. Buffaloes have smoother, ladylike coats. Bison, they have thick beards. Buffalo, they don't. Bison are known to be aggressive, unpredictable, while buffalo, they are generally more docile. They're easier to domesticate. All signs point to FCS powerhouse North Dakota State Bison to whoop that Colorado butt on national TV. Take the boys in enemy territory that are wearing the green and yellow. North Dakota State plus 10.5. And on the money line, plus 325. Sorry, Coach Prime. Week 2 was where you get your first win.
Oh, my God. So, C-Cat, you have more there.
I've got more.
Oh, my God, because this is a crazy pick. I think the Buffs are going to win, but keep going.
We head to the game of the weekend, Christmas in August, noon Saturday, number 14 Clemson, number 1 Georgia, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, ABC. At least 10 players have been arrested or cited for reckless driving, racing, or speeding this year from the Georgia Bulldogs. Immaturity, stupidity, Georgia football. While we're at it, let's get a real stat in here. Did you know that Dabo Swinney is 12-1 against the spread with Clemson when he is 5.5-point underdog or more? When you put him against the wall, Dabo Swinney attacks you and rips your fade off. That's why I'm going with the Clemson Tigers, plus 13.5. And on the money line, while you're at it, sprinkle a little kashish on that plus 450. Those are your 2 dogs going into week 1 college football. North Dakota State plus 10.5, Clemson plus 13.5.
I think everybody who's picking North Dakota State to beat Colorado is an absolute idiot.
We all saw what happened with Colorado State.
You're using the hate you have for Coach Prime to cloud your judgment for these dudes got Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, 2 of the 5 best players in college football, maybe 2 of the top 10 guys going in the NFL draft next season, and he got a lot of transfers and rebolstered that roster. I'm not all in on Coach Prime either as a guy, but that Colorado football team ain't finna get punched up on by no FCS squad.
Just watch. So, yeah, I'm sure.
I'm not worried.
Last I checked, Shedeur didn't transfer in this year. Travis Hunter didn't transfer in this year. They had those same 2 guys last year.
They got more experience at the big boy ball.
I see now. Last place in the Pac-12. Didn't matter. It's going to continue into 2024. So.
Again, it's a hot pick. Everybody's been on it. Everybody's been saying, oh, the Bison are going to slip up and get them. As a Hampton Pirate, though, I can never cheer for a Bison because that was our rivals at Howard, the other HU.
Buffalo's a weak-ass animal, by the way. The Bison dominates it. If you ever confuse the two, Buffalo and Bison, don't do it again because we're talking about two different animals literally here.
The Buffs are going to run them boys out the door. They're going to run them right out of the building. I can't believe all that hate that y'all are piling up is clouding y'all's judgment. I keep it Gito. I keep it objective. I got the Buffalo winning. That's where you're going to mess up. Clemson, though, they might cover. That was a fun one. Appreciate Jamie Eisenberg and everybody that pulled up here at Bounce Delray Beach. That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey. Go in love, go in peace, go enjoy.
Hey, it's your boy JC on the brand new Questionable Call with Josh Cohen on YouTube exclusively right now. A ridiculous story.